How to best get vitamin B12 into your body. Hey, it's Dr. V, triple board certified MD and best-selling author of Thrive State, your blueprint for optimal health, longevity, and peak performance. And in this video, I share with you how I take my B12. Now, some of you may know, B12 is an important vitamin for boosting energy, improving memory, helping make red blood cells, and helping prevent heart disease. And B12 absorption is, well, complex. When B12 containing food like beef, poultry, fish, eggs, yogurt, and cheese hits your stomach, the stomach acid actually extracts it from the food. The free B12 then moves into the alkaline environment of the intestine where it attaches to a protein called intrinsic factor, and that helps it transport it into the cells through the intestinal lining. Now, if any step in this process is missing, you don't absorb B12. Without stomach acid, B12 is not extracted from food and does not go to the intestine to await transport. And without intrinsic factor, it does not enter circulation. Now, your doctor might recommend supplemental B12 if you have any of the following characteristics. First, if you're over 50 years old, stomach acid and intrinsic factor production actually decline with age, and more than 20% of older adults are deficient in B12. About 30% of adults over 51 have atrophic gastritis, which causes low stomach secretion and low intrinsic factor production, putting them at risk for poor B12 absorption from food. Doctors often recommend supplements and fortified foods to these patients. Next is people on a plant-based diet. Now, since B12 is mostly found in animal products such as meat, dairy, eggs, yogurt, fish, and poultry, if your diet consists mainly of plants, your doctor might often recommend B12 supplementation. Next is the use of certain prescription drugs. Acid blockers and proton pump inhibitors comprise the second largest number of prescriptions filled each year. Too little or no stomach acid means inability to extract B12 from food and thus low B12 in our body. These drugs are known to deplete B12 and supplementation is often recommended. B12 absorption can also be affected by oral contraceptive medications, as well as anti-gout, anticonvulsant, cholesterol, psychiatric, and diabetes medications also interfere with B12 absorption. Next is patients who have undergone gastric bypass surgery. Gastric bypass surgery reduces the amount of stomach acid produced. Patients don't absorb B12 and are at severe risk for deficiency. Next are patients with gastrointestinal disorders. Inflammatory conditions in the intestines, such as Crohn's and celiac disease, can interfere with B12 absorption. Rates of B12 deficiency are higher in people with celiac than in the general population. Next are patients with pernicious anemia. This is actually a rare blood disorder believed to be caused by an autoimmune condition that attacks the cells that make intrinsic factor. Though it only occurs in about 1% of the adult population, it is responsible for up to 50% of B12 deficiency in adults. Next are people who are pregnant or breastfeeding. B12 requirements actually increase slightly for pregnant and breastfeeding women. B12 deficiency during pregnancy is linked to serious birth defects, and during lactation can cause B12 deficiency in the baby. So the next question might be, how do you supplement, or how do I supplement with B12? So the good news is that supplements already contain B12 in its free form, so you are not reliant on stomach acid for absorption. However, you still need enough intrinsic factor to absorb B12 from supplements. In healthy people, only about 10 micrograms of a 500 microgram traditional oral supplement is absorbed. Often, people who have difficulty producing intrinsic factor are prescribed intravenous B12, which actually bypasses the intestinal transport and injecting B12 directly into the bloodstream. And my favorite, Liposomal Encapsulated B12 may also bypass the normal absorption pathways as the microscopic fatty spheres, or liposomes, actually carry the B12 from the digestive system into the bloodstream and into the cells. I love Live On Labs Lipospheric B Complex Plus, as it contains a comprehensive blend of B vitamins and other essential minerals, and it offers a superior delivery system into the cells. Check on Live On Labs to learn more, and remember always, you are your best medicine.